Hi friends, this is Sandeep. Been 3 long years since I made my first video, and apologies to stay away that long, but I guess I was living those changes which I wanted to share with you guys. Now, the most frequently asked question to me as a friend, as an employer, or anybody is, I want to change. How do I change? But my first question to anyone is, do you understand what change is? I mean, most likely the answer is no. Let me explain it to you in a way I thought the change was, because there's a lot of information on internet and sometimes it feels contradicting. So what I'm about to say is that that's my take or my understanding of what change is, and it's not necessary that it resonates with everyone, maybe. So let's start. Like, what we know is that we have two minds, what I call it as a body mind and a mind. The job of the mind is to think, and the job of the body is to follow. So in the end, your body is, as they say, habits. Your body is a auto process system which is a product of your habits. Like whatever you today is basically, wherever you are mentally, spiritually, financially, is the product of your habits. Now, my question to everyone that I usually ask is, do you control your mind or your mind control you? Because most of the time the research says the war is lost even before it gets started, and people say it's a good saying, but I thought that I'll try to dig it a little bit deeper of what it means. If I tell you your thoughts are merely killing you, would you believe? Okay, let me explain it to you. Now, if you are stressed for any thought, job, weight, finances, anything, whenever you are stressed in your mind, you're not showing it to anybody, it doesn't matter. What your amygdala does is it sends a sense stress response to your body that you are under stress, and which in turn does is it makes a very stress relieving but harmful chemical called cortisol. Now, you can imagine that we are doing this day in, day out. Like science says, there are about 60 to 90,000 thoughts each human being takes during a day, and most of which, about 90%, are useless and negative thoughts. So, what it tells me is, like, if the body is making cortisol whenever you are stressed or having a negative thought, so technically what we have become is a 24 hours cortisol manufacturing machine. We don't know it consciously, but that's what it is. So the cortisol, okay, relieves you of the stress. Hence, you need all your coffee breaks, your cigarette breaks, because your body doesn't know what to do with all that cortisol. It takes a very long time to get out of the body. Now, if you are doing this day in, day out, this chemical will start harming your immune system, because it is a very potent chemical. You can Google it, read as much as you like about it. So it was given to us to use in case of emergency, but life has become that every person is just thinking negative in one way or the other. And then people say, I have a headache, I have a hard, like, tough back, or my posture is not correct, because they are not ever present in the moment, because 60 to 90,000 thoughts, as science says, most of them are negative. Then what do you think where we are going? Because cortisol is basically was for external threat. So if you are thinking negative thoughts and making cortisol all day, your body is focused on the outside of your body, because your thoughts are perceiving is that there is a danger. That's why I'm stressed. Now, if all your energy all day is focused on the outside, technically there is no energy left for repair and growth on the inside. So this is a process which is going on for most of the people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now, people usually say at the end of the day, I need a drink. Now, or wine is good, it's made of grapes. Oh, my question is, why don't you eat grapes instead? Because alcohol, just to name a few things, people know all about it, but technically for 21st generation people like us, just to stress it again, that it decreases testosterone, thyroid, increases insulin, stress hormones, negative changes in dopamine. It disrupts your sleep pattern. So basically what you're doing is you're inviting a disease, you're knocking on the doors of a disease day in, day out. And sooner or later, it's going to answer. I can't remember these many people being sick of different diseases when I was like 5-10 years old kid. Today I'm 40 years old. So that tells me that in 30 years time, we have grown as a community, but our thought patterns are killing us day in, day out. And for most of the people, they don't know what to do. Now, like, one of the other important points is that everybody knows these days what subconscious and conscious brains are. But very few people know that subconscious brain doesn't know the difference between truth and a lie. So even if you are saying it in fun, that like just to fool anybody, I have a headache or I'm stressed or anything, your body starts doing what it's meant to do, because you are telling it that you are stressed. It doesn't know that you're joking, if you are joking, for instance. So that's, I think, a very important point to learn. That's why now I understand a lot of sayings which I have learned all along while I was growing up. Have positive thoughts, habits make or break you. Now I understand what it is, because if you look 40-50 years ago, people were very contented just mere because they were not distracted like us. We are, if you want to call it, cortisol manufacturing junkies. That's what we have literally become. So, because one other thing is that we are having all these things to read from different social media, newspaper, this and that. That's not knowledge. That's information. Knowledge becomes when you start implementing those in real life. So when people say I read 5 books, my question is, what did you apply in life? And most of the time people are blank, because they're reading for reading the number of books, just thinking they are just going up and up here. But if you're not changing your habits, you're not listening. So there's a disconnect between these two brains. You are thinking positive, listening to motivational videos, looking at positive things, but your habits say a different story. So there is always a fight between this brain and this brain, because at the end of the day, this is just a habits and this is just the thinking part. So they never match. And most of the people, I believe that's the start of a bad digestive process, because at the end of the day, the root of any disease is bad digestion, which I will talk about in more detail in my coming videos. So, like, if you ask me, what I have seen or practically seen pretty much everywhere is people don't even know what are the basics of the body. Like, I mean, would you believe that most of us don't know how to breathe properly? Isn't that a shocking fact? Like, I personally think that should have been a part of school system. That we know we breathe all day, but there is a huge difference between breathing properly and just mere breathing for maintaining that system that you have. Now, what I truly believe is, if you're not healthy physically, you cannot be healthy mentally, and vice versa. Man, doesn't matter you put a lion in a cage, he doesn't start eating grass. So you better start respecting yourself and start getting into those habits. How to change and what I can do to help in change we'll discuss in my coming few videos. But in a nutshell, when you say that you don't know how to change or you feel chills down your spine when thinking about change, consider all these facts. That's why you cannot change. What you are today, right now, what you're thinking, is because of the chemical composition you have right now. And that chemical composition depends on what you eat, what you think, what do you do all day. And then when you say change, changing means changing the habits and the chemical composition of a body. So whenever transformation occurs, there has to be some, what do you call it, zigzag in the body. But I think that's it for this one, and we'll leave how to change probably in the next one. Making this video after 3 years, so please don't be too harsh, guys. Hope I try to get some information to you in a nutshell. But I think that's what I want to do going further, is like I want to educate people with the basics, because I think that's where people are going wrong. And if the basics are done correct, you should have a perfectly healthy body, because success is not just money. If you're not healthy, success doesn't mean anything. So until the next video, see you all. Thank you so much.